Good morning, Mark Bruno with the Cannata Report, and we are here with another Fridays with Frank. And before we bring out Frank, please remember to like and subscribe, comment, share. If you have questions for us, shoot us a comment, and Frank and/or I will be happy to entertain the questions. So, good morning, Frank. How are you?
I'm doing fine, Mark. How about yourself?
Doing well. What are we going to talk about today?
Well, having just come back from the Xerox meeting in Las Vegas, and if I don't go to Vegas for the next 10 years, it will not upset me in the one least. What they've done to that city is a crime. But at any rate, the meeting itself was the Xerox meeting was very, very interesting, as it represented something very different for our industry. And when I say different, the prior Xerox meeting they did have a change in their management team, was very different. It was more like the traditional large manufacturer meeting with panels and so forth and discussion about productivity in the areas of the business. This was more about really identifying themselves, what their thinking is, where they're going, how they're getting there, and much deeper than you would normally find at a regular manufacturer dealer meeting. I will say it was interesting. I think my guess is there was a few dealers there, not that many, that were probably disappointed because it wasn't what they're used to. Because every speaker got up, was really conveying the same message. We are in this together. We're going to be, and they refer to this as their partner summit. Now, when you talk about Xerox partners, they're all over the world. So you had, and it's so interesting when you talk about it, when they, you try to get a better understanding. What is it like internationally? Well, one of the executives said to me, well, in some countries, we just have one company that sells the product throughout the entire country. So that's kind of interesting. And we remember that from the days years ago when we used to go to the Hanover Fair in the 1980s and the 1990s. You'd meet this one company that represented, that sold all the products in the one country. At any rate, they're very excited about the Lexmark acquisition. It fills a huge hole in the product line. Their A3 and A4, candidly, was not that good, in my opinion, compared to competition, in all fairness. But I think certainly the Lexmark line is excellent. And I think they're going to do good things with it. You know, it's the old story. You develop a relationship with a dealer in a specific area. And if you do the job right, they will take on additional product because they like doing business with you. My concern for Xerox is if that meeting structure and the emphasis that where it was placed on that meeting continues with the dealers, they're not going to interest a lot of dealers. Candidly, obviously, the product line is very good, and Fuji makes a hell of a product, and the new products they discussed were very, very interesting, I think. And there was some specific products that were mentioned that are going to be exclusively sold by Xerox for good reason. It's the top of the line, and they're probably the only one in a position to really handle it. That's just my guess. No, nobody said that. So in all, it was, I'm going to say, very informative, because it was like all of a sudden we're dealing with a new company. You got that feel that They just wanted everyone to understand they were in this together, and that together they're going to achieve some very significant goals. And all we can say is that we look forward to it in terms of seeing how they roll out these new products, how they do with A3 and A4, because that, I think, has been a problem to date, and what they can contribute to the industry. Some people look at this and say, well, why do we need a competitor like that in the business? Every company that comes into a company brings something to it. Whether it's a marketing strategism, whether it's approach to the market, whether it exploits the market in an area that other people never thought of, because dealers are very, very good about learning from each other. You can learn from a different manufacturer who has a different awareness, a different background, a different set of engineers and SMEs that have done this far longer than anybody else. There's a history there. And I think if the dealers pay attention, particularly for those dealers that take on the Xerox line and have already taken on the Xerox line, they're going to do quite well with it. So that's my story.